Hi all, CTR. Here we are doing the impossible yet again. We've had kind of a heck of a week, and I got to thinking about it. I wasn't going to make video on it, but it seems to me like other people might need a little bit of encouragement. And we don't just run around here every day and not have no bad news and nothing goes wrong. Yes, we have that too. We try not to concentrate or dwell on it. Mostly what we do is go fix it. Let's go correct the problem. Whatever the problem is, we're going to fix it. That's how you keep putting these cars back together. Don't give up. Go hit it from another angle. What we've been working on, among other things, is the old Green Weenie truck. And, well, the engine that was in it, that was in the wreck, it lost a couple of rod bearings. I'd say it was probably lost oil pressure during the wreck. It took a little bit to show up, but we pulled it and stuffed a known good engine in it. And I pulled it, we set it out here, and it come up a storm, and we had to cover it with something so we didn't get rain in it. And that was its demise. Wait, what really happened there, bub?
I dragged the tarp up here, didn't shake it out, it had leaves and stuff all over it. It's covered.
Gravel and dirt.
All the stuff. Dragged it up here, covered up that motor, and I didn't even think about it. So it got something in there, and now we're here.
Yeah, we're here all right. Anyway, we'll show you some pictures of the old Green Weenie in its current state. It's looking pretty good. We had a little setback. We changed the motor day before yesterday. Out and in after lunch. No problem. Fired it up, and we made her about 60 seconds before number 5 piston just turned to dust and little pebbles this big around. And, well, my thumbnail's probably bigger than anything that was left. Number 5 said, "I'm out." You think you had a bad day. So out we come the next day after lunch, and I'm pretty sore, and we was doing this outside in the gravel where it ain't real handy, so we don't have a lot of shop space. It's a pretty good day outside. We pulled her back out. We took it apart and found the damage, and before anybody panics too much, we've got lots more engines around here, but some of y'all on a budget. So we're going to poke this thing back together. We're going to take the crankshaft out of one because it didn't scar a bearing when it lost number 5. It beat the hell out of the pistons, but it didn't scar it scarred the block real bad. It beat it to pieces, and it beat one head to pieces. But we got other heads, and we're going to put one together out of the two. We're going to steal the new bearings out of the one that got blowed up because they still look like brand new. And we're going to put the crank and all the bearings and another set of rods and pistons I had out of the one that lost a rod bearing. And I had a couple of stray pistons laying around out of another engine, and we're going to make one out of the parts we got. We're going to fire it up for you, and it's going to run. It's an LS, and it'll live, and it'll sound good, and it'll run good. I might do a little checking, you know, to make extra sure we ain't got a broke ring or something like that, and really check the heads over just in case one of them kissed a valve somewhere. But if we do, we're going to steal a valve out of another head that's damaged. A good valve. We're going to clean it up, lap it in, call it a day. And then we're going to put some multi-layer steel gaskets on it that's, well, used. We're going to copper coat them, put them back down. We're going to use the torque to yield factory bolts out of it, but we're going to clean everything real good. We may get it out here and pressure wash it, but we're going to clean it real good, and we're going to put it back together, and it can be done, and it'll be a viable engine. I really probably ought to put some valve seals on it while I'm there, but I'm probably not going to do that. This motor needs to live for a little while I go build a new one for it or decide what I'm going to do with this truck. It's not going to get a lot of miles on it. It's going to pull a car to the drag strip on occasion or run down to the parts store. It's a novelty item, but that's what we're going to do. Stay tuned for more carnage. Well, we've got a little carnage going on in the shop. Seem to have one of these things is not like the other. Hint, hint. There's most of it on the ground. I mean, like the biggest piece that I could find is probably that one. That used to be a piston. And it kind of beat on things and it made them marks on the head. We had a little foreign debris getting the engine on the first startup. That was not a good deal. But it didn't touch a bearing. It ruined the block. I don't know if we can see that in here or not, but yeah, that hole right there, it absolutely destroyed the uphill side of it. Yeah, but can't see it. This block is good. It had a couple of rod bearings that just wiped them out and stacked them. 7 and 8 went south on us, so we're gonna change those 2 pistons out of that set, which I happen to have a couple of them. It'll be fine. They're wonderful. We weighed them out, they're close. We use whatever bearings we need to. The crank and bearings are matched, and they're all perfect for this crank out of the exploded block. So we'll clean the crank up and all that nasty mess, and we'll clean up the bearings and stuff and put them all back in and use the same thing. I think they're all standard, but I couldn't swear to it. Now we've got one head off the engine right there. It's got a valve that's lifting a little bit, and it kissed one of the pistons that come out of it on number 2. Didn't really hurt the piston, but the valve's bent, and there seemed to be a hole in the intake. It's one of those plastic intakes, and it had a little vacuum leak on it there, and I think it kind of blowtorched that valve and got it hot on that cylinder. And I'm going to change that valve in this head and lap it back in, and we're going to use a bunch of used parts and put it right back together. With what we've got here out of 2 engines, we're going to put it back together. I had a couple stray pistons that I could, grab that were leftovers out of something that blowed up, and I bet you it'll still run. CTR, I'm out. It's a budget build right here. Real budget build. Not none of this, well, we went and bolted every brand new part on it we could find from Jegs and Summit and stuff, and had our machine shop work on it. No, we're going to do this in-house. We're going to put it back together. I'm going to show you it runs, and it'll run well. I'm not going to change the valve seals on it. I probably ought to. In reality, they're not very much money, but I can't get them right now, and I want to get this truck running. I already put a new motor in it once a couple days ago, so yeah, we're going to go put it back together, and we're going to live with it for a while, and I may build a new engine for it later, but right now we're going to put it back together. We're going to show you it runs, and it holds oil pressure, and it don't hammer, and we're going to drive it. And we're going to let you all see that you can patch this stuff back up. It is not something that's unattainable. Clean is important. I'm out. This is the mess we're dealing with right now, folks. I'm tired, I'm sore, and I'm beat up. We've had motors out and motors in, and just unfortunate chain of events. Something got dropped down an intake port on the long block and just scattered a piston, and we're going to make one engine out of 2. They both got different damage, and we're going to patch them back up. And this is a truck we've been painting. The old Green Weenie looks pretty dang good for having an oak tree through the firewall, dead center punch. It's a looking a whole heap better. Out back, we've got all the parts off the engine, man. We've got her stripped down. It's going to come a storm tomorrow, so I got to clean out a hole in here from all these engines and make a way to get it rolled back in here before it rains. We jerked the motor out twice out there in that chat gravel in the last couple days, and it sucks. It shouldn't have had any problem. It was a known good engine, but that's what we're doing. We go fix stuff. We repair things. You can too. Don't let these people tell you you've got to have an unlimited budget to do this. We don't have a lot of money in this truck. It's worth a lot of money, but we don't have a lot of money in it. And we shouldn't have a horrible amount of labor in it either. Even with, an engine failure or two, it was expected. It's not the end of the world. It's just unfortunate and unhandy. And that boy's got to learn that stuff. Make sure he keeps it clean. Don't drop nothing down the intake port. It happens. It can happen to you too. Shake it off and go repair the damage and get back on the road. Don't panic no more. I just wanted to thank y'all in closing here. We really like what we're doing. We get to go live everybody's dream that, likes hot rods and old cars and stuff. We're not getting rich doing this. I'm retired. But we are doing it. And we enjoy being able to share it with y'all. And I'm asking y'all to like, subscribe, and share, and get them to subscribe too. If you think you'll enjoy our content, please have them, watch for us. And we're going to do some great things. We're going to make some movies. We're going to try to promote others around us. And the truth is, kind of in a near future to mid-range future, we're trying to set up a studio where we can have normal podcasts. And we want to feature some local bands, some small timers that trying to get started, that they play music and they're like us. They got regular jobs. I always had a regular job. I always traveled and, lived a pretty extreme life most of my life. Went and did the impossible every day, bet on me to survive, and stuck my neck out there to do well. I don't really have to do that anymore, but it's what I've done my whole life. So just jump in here and enjoy what we create for you, because we're doing it for you. We don't have to do this. We don't have to film any of it. We can just go do this stuff, but it's fun, and we want to share it with other people, and we want to inspire y'all to do the same thing. If you can put one old car back together with your kid, it's a big deal. This little boy right here, he's mine. I'm teaching him how to put this old junk back together. It's something he can hold on to the rest of his life. If I die tomorrow, he already knows how to build a transmission. He can do a bunch of stuff. He's learning how to paint, and he's learning how to do motor work. We're going to put one back together and poor boy it. He'll be able to get his family to working back, because maybe he can do a brake job or patch up an engine that's busted. Don't be afraid to try something. If you need help, ask people that know. I'm out. That one's catastrophic failure is what they call that. Yes, there's your picture. Hey, there's a ring. You need that part? It's not lighting up over here now either. What a bunch of shit. Yes, but the red light ain't on above it.